Thanks to two Freedom of Information Act requests filed by the Washington Post and BuzzFeed, we now have the ability to see exactly what Fauci was really thinking throughout the last 18 months, despite what he was running his mouth about in public. Fauci's favorite theory is that this virus came to us naturally from a bat to human. Here he is just a matter of days ago saying as much.
As I've said many times, I feel the likelihood is still high that this is a natural occurrence.
But all the way back in February of 2020, the Fauci got an email from a research saying, quote, "One has to look really closely at all the sequences to see that some of the features potentially look engineered. Eddie, Bob, Mike, and myself all find the genome inconsistent with expectations from evolutionary theory." So, for over a year, while the lab leak theory was called a conspiracy, we now know Fauci was aware there were credible scientists with doubts that this came straight from a bat. Earlier today, in his interview with Nicole Wallace, of course, over at MSNBC, Fauci had this to say.
Science is a dynamic process. So something that you know in January, you make a recommendation or a comment about it. But as you get more and more information, the information leads you to change, because that's what science is. It's a self-correcting process.
Total softball interview. But if he really believes that, then why would he spend the pandemic desperately clinging to the theory that this thing did not come from a lab? I suspect it's because when President Trump said the virus may have leaked from the Wuhan lab, the left went apoplectic. And with Fauci sticking to their liberal party line, he could accomplish three important things. Number one, he gained hero status among the left. They got to use him as a weapon against the president, and he became an instant icon. There was even Fauci underwear. Yikes. Number two, Fauci could hide any nefarious dealings he had with China by labeling a deadly theory just a conspiracy hoax. Turns out Dr. Fauci has had a lion's share of financial dealings throughout his organizations, including the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, which has an annual budget of, get this, $6.1 billion that they spend. So guess who got a ton of that money? You guessed it, the Wuhan lab in China. And number three, Dr. Fauci would set himself for a post-pandemic lifestyle Mick Jagger would be envious of. A seemingly quiet guy, small in stature, non-threatening, he worked for the Trump administration, and he disagreed with Trump in an election year. That was unheard of. Dr. Fauci carried the left's water for them, and he was paid handsomely with money, fame, and power, all the vices he needed to perpetuate the big lie, though it might finally be catching up to him. Fauci's upcoming book was scrubbed on both Amazon and Barnes & Noble amid backlash. But can't say I'm too disappointed. Remember back in March, the former director of the CDC, this is very important, folks, Dr. Robert Redfield said this to CNN.
I am of the point of view that I still think the most likely etiology of this pathogen in Wuhan was from a laboratory, escaped. Other people don't believe that. That's fine. Science will eventually figure it out. It's not unusual for respiratory pathogens that are being worked on in a laboratory to infect a laboratory worker.
Redfield said he believed COVID-19 leaked from the Wuhan lab 5 months prior to when we were told about it. So let's connect the dots in the Fauci big lie. In September of 2019, if Redfield is right, the virus leaks from the lab. Then in January 2020, Chinese New Year, millions of Wuhan citizens celebrate. The virus goes passing from person to person, city to city, and eventually country to country. The rest is history, folks. 3.7 million people worldwide are now dead. 595,000 of those are Americans, dead. Who knows how many lives may have been saved if we listened to Dr. Redfield and all those Chinese doctors who are trying to tell us the Wuhan lab leaked a deadly virus. Who knows how many moms, dads, sons, daughters would still be here if Fauci didn't provide cover for the Chinese government's playing God with Mother Nature. Who knows, folks? Who knows? By the way, that 2020 Chinese New Year I referenced earlier, yeah, it was the year of the rat. Now, I have an idea on whose face should be in the history books as the representative of the Year of the Rat.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.